So this is not how I wanted to start this video, but this is my car that I've had for a little bit. It's a 2008 Ford Territory Turbo. So essentially it's got an XR6 turbo motor in it and it goes bloody good. This was supposed to be the daily and then this happened. If you can see in there, the coolant is now mixed with the gearbox oil because there's a heat exchanger somewhere down there, I'm pretty sure, on this side somewhere, I believe. And yeah, it's corroded and mixed all my coolant with my gearbox oil. I can't afford to take it anywhere to fix it, so I'm going to do a lot of learning and I've got nowhere else to do it other than out the front of my house. So engine's got to come out. It's also got a rear main leak, so it works out I have to pull the gearbox anyways, and it's got a sump leak that I can't fix because being all drive, the cradle's at the bottom, so it's just easier to take the motor out and fix that. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. This is the ghetto setup. Got jack stands all around, put bricks at the back so if it does drop off I don't die. Got the jack up the front. I think the plan is to drop the gearbox oil first. We'll see how milkshake that is, and then I'll do the tail shaft, the battery, so I can take the starter off, and yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully you can see that, but I've cracked some of the bolts for the gearbox pan, and that is coolant. Oh man, done myself a mischief, eh? I just want to get most of this out because I know some of it's going to be stuck in the converter still when I pull it out, but it is what it is. There we go. Now we can see a bit of chalky milk. Beautiful. So I got the oil pan off, and yeah, she's pretty nasty. Look at that. Chalky milk is pretty well mixed there, that's for sure. So I think that'll be it for tonight, but pan's back on. Managed to get the tail shaft out and that bit of the exhaust out. Alright, so a bit of an update. Front tail shaft is out, sitting there. Up there is the starter motor. So if you know, you know. That is a shit bolt to get out the top one, but I've just wiggled it out, so it's just sitting there now. And my 3/8 with a 6-inch extension and a deep socket. That's how I got that one out, but it took bloody ages. So this is going to be a little bit hard to show, but that's 3 out of the 4 torque converter bolts. That's that little inspection plate you have to take off. What I've done is I put a breaker bar on the crank pulley just so I can turn the motor over, and then it's going to be hard to see, but you can see one bolt up there. I've just been turning the motor so I can see the bolt, and then crack it open from down here, so it's a bit easier as a one-person job. Ideally you'd probably want 2 people, but that's the last one, and torque converter bolts are out. Starting to get a bit dark again, but I've pulled out this plug. I've hung it up over there, but that was pretty easy. Just like twisted it and pulled it out. I think that is the only plug, hopefully, and then there's just a couple like P-clips up there they just got to push out, so that's out, which is sweet. I've also knocked off the selector clip from that bolt. I've taken these, I think they're the transmission like cooling lines. A little bit of shit came out of it from those ports up there. I've also undone the bracket for the selector, which is sitting over here. That was what was going on this bit here. And I've gone ahead and taken the bottom 6 bell housing bolts out, and then after, I think I'm gonna try tackle this cross member and then take out the top bell housing bolts. Attempt to, at least, that's the plan. So next thing I've done is taken the cross member off, just had the jack under it just to support the weight, and then dropped it down, and I've taken the X brace, I don't know what you call it, just off the bottom here. Next thing to do, I think, is gonna just put the jack somewhere under the pan, and then do the bell housing bolts. I think it's like a 19 or something, and then hopefully it should come out. Just like that, with it falling off the jack a little bit, gearbox is out, and I'm actually impressed with myself, to be honest. Came out actually quite easy. Well, I pulled the torque converter out just to make it a little bit lighter and then jacked the car up a bit and pushed it out the side, but here we are, and yeah, time to get rebuilt. So now the gearbox is out, I'm going to start on the motor. Didn't take them out together because I want to send the gearbox off first to get fixed. Makes it a bit quicker. I've kind of mowed through this a little bit already, so radiator's out, fans out, just had to take the grill out and a couple hoses and stuff like that, but here we are. If you want to see what it looks like, everything is this colour, so I'm probably going to have to replace the whole cooling system or try and flush it out or something because it's full of shit. Drain the engine oil there. Next thing I think I'm going to do is intercooler and airbox kind of thing, take all that off and just give myself as much room as possible. I saw something like you can just disconnect this actual power steering like from the block so that you don't actually lose any power steering fluid. So I might have a look and see how I can do that, but I'm kind of just going through it, taking everything off slowly, and got my box of snap lock bags with all the bolts in it because I knew from the Skyline that we don't like losing stuff, it's not fun. Unfortunately, it is starting to rain. I'm getting shit on by these fucking cockatoos, but I'm pretty sure I've disconnected everything. ECU, a couple of wiring at the back of the head there. You can see all the intake manifolds gone, intercooler's off. I have undone the engine mount, like the bottom bolt on each side. I don't think I need to do the top ones, we'll find out. I pushed the power steering over, I just hooked it, we'll zip tied it onto the battery tray for now. Unhooked the alternator, all the radiator and all that's gone. Just unbolted the air compressor, just got it hooked there for now. And hopefully that's it, just like disconnected breathers and stuff like that, and that's all my parts sitting there. A little bit sad, but oh, and I took out the coolant bottle because this thing is fucked. I need to get a new one. You can't even see what level's in it, and yeah, it was all through the whole system, so I'm probably gonna have to go and replace all the hoses, especially the radiator hoses, and I'll probably replace the radiator as well because that was all full of that watery gunk. Oh yeah, and then I also undid the coolant hoses for the heater and all that, for the heater core and whatnot. So yeah, gotta buy an engine crane and get it out. So by saying this is by far the hardest part I'm struggling with the most is an understatement, but I've sacked the car as low as it goes. The motor is out, but I might have fucked myself over because that's how far it extends up and still not clearing the bell housing at the bottom. It was a bit of a struggle, kind of had to like turn the motor and stuff, but it is out. Mainly just this hitting the radiator support, and I took off the idler there as well because that was hitting it too. But I mean, it's out, I'm pretty happy, but you can see this area is the problem there. I've tried to strap it up. I've also realised that when I first came to do it, that the rear point is missing, which would have helped because that would have probably leveled out the motor a bit. So I'm trying to find a way, or with this strap, and I'll have to restrap it, to sit the motor up a bit so that I'm able to clear this little ledge there with a little bit of a helping hand and a million ratchet straps. It's out. I'm absolutely knackered. What a mission, but learnt a lot. That was the main thing. I'm doing it myself, so that's what I wanted to do, learn, and it's definitely what we're doing. So now that the motor's out, easy access to everything. So while I'm here, I'm going to change the bushes. There's two on one side, one on the other side, and just have a quick wash over everything and make sure everything's all sweet, and then freshen up the motor with heaps of seals and whatnot while it's all out. Go have a break.